All right, happy Tuesday night, everybody. Welcome on into the daily broadcast. Coming to you from the Hat Creek Interior Studios here in Raiderland. You don't have to own a ranch to live like you do. Hat Creek Interiors can make it happen. The best in Western wear, Western style, I should say, custom furniture and accessories. Check out their showroom, 10101 South Slide Road in Lubbock. Hatcreek.us on the website. They ship to you. All right. Live Texas Tech basketball updates as we go through. Cincinnati leading 29-25, 8:35 to go in the first half. Here in Lubbock, they got off to what was it, a 9 of 9 start. Finally, they missed one after 9 straight, but Texas Tech right there with them. Interesting game from that standpoint that Cincinnati would shoot so well, but they are coming back down to earth now. 11 of 17 after the 9 of 10. They went 2 of their last 7. Texas Tech making inroads, making headway. We're going to talk about the game real time with you tonight. Get your thoughts on that. Also, Tuesday's best. Sometimes sports, sometimes not. Tonight, not. And I know we are live going up against Texas Tech basketball. If you want to talk about that, we got it. But yeah, we can do two different things, right? We can walk, talk, chew gum. Tuesday's best. Give me 2 old TV shows, 25 years or older. So that takes you back to 2001. For those of you who might be a little math challenged, TV shows that would still be great today. That if you launched them today, they would still be awesome. They would still be great. Now, I'll give you this: you relaunch the show, but maybe you recast it, right? You put a new cast in there. That begs the question: was the show so good with the original cast that even the premise, even the writing, everything else, that it wouldn't work? I don't know. You tell me. Which ones? I've got mine. I think Northern Exposure would be great today. I think Moonlighting from the mid 80s, if you brought back Moonlighting and you got the right characters with the writing, hard to do, but they're still out there. And I'll give you this one: 25 years old. They're both older than that. Friends versus Seinfeld. Which show would be better? Which show is less dated? Which show would still resonate today? My money's on Seinfeld. I don't think Seinfeld was dated. I think Seinfeld existed in a seamless vacuum of time. Friends, you watch Friends episodes and they seem very dated. So give us that tonight. 2 best TV shows you would bring back. Get in on the United Supermarkets chat line tonight. We're brought to you by South Plains College. The road to Raiderland runs through Levelland. Check out all they have to do for traditional students, non-traditional, continuing education, everything. They've got a great website. We appreciate South Plains College being a huge part of all we do in Raiderland. And, of course, McAlpin Chiropractic. If your back's out of whack, don't call it quack. Call Kevin Mack. Not his slogan at all. Should be. No, I mean, you sit there at your desk all day. You're working in uncomfortable, setups and everything. It just didn't work for you. Hey, let them help you out. So get in tonight. Thanks to United Supermarkets, the supermarket that puts their name on the arena, or Texas Tech right now is battling back against Cincinnati 29-25, 7:28 left in the first. We got a media timeout right now. So Texas Tech, Anderson with 6 so far, 3 assists on the night as well in 13 minutes of action. He leads in scoring. Bamboya's got 4. Petty has 6, 2 of 3 long range. Texas Tech, 3 of 8 on 3. Cincinnati now 11 of 18, 57% from the field. Texas Tech, 8 of 16. Is that right? Yeah, 8 of 16 from the field. Cincinnati, Jizzle James, 8 points, leading them right now. They've spread around the scoring. Any other interesting notes? Tech at the line, 6 of 6. We've already had more free throws than I thought, but we got Marcus Pettigrew officiating this game tonight. There are going to be replays when he gets a chance. Don't worry, he loves to get on TV. Points off turnovers, 5-2. Cincinnati. Rebounds, 8-7. Not a lot of rebounds to go around when one team's shooting 61%, one team's shooting 50%. And then points in the paint even at 10. So there you go. All right. So what are you thinking tonight about Texas Tech? How important is this game to the overall Texas Tech basketball structure? of where you're going to be in the seed line. I think it's vitally important. You've got to win this game if you have any hope of holding on to a 4 seed. And I think you can still get there. But you've got to beat this Cincinnati team tonight at home. You've got to do it. Otherwise, you put yourself in the position of clawing back ground on the road at Iowa State. And even if JT Toppin were still healthy, would I be sitting here saying, yeah, Texas Tech's going to roll into Iowa State this year and beat them? No. Coin flip at best, and probably not even a coin flip, I would say. So this is a vitally important game. TCU, vitally important. BYU, vitally important. I think, and again, best case scenario is that Texas Tech holds on to a 4 seed. They're getting credit for what they've done to this point, but I promise you the selection committee is already looking at this saying, all right, what do they look like now without JT Toppin? Jeff, big guys in foul trouble already, not helping. Yeah, so Bamboy, not Bamboy, but Quinta has 3 fouls in 3 minutes. And you wonder why he hadn't been out on the floor, right? So Bamboy, no fouls, but Quinta, yeah, 3. Dude, I want to play you, but you got to stay on the floor. Talking about Texas Tech right now. And really, to me, he's a 5 to 7 minutes a game guy right now. It's got to be Bamboy playing 25 minutes a game. And then you've got to go with the smaller lineup, and you just got to realize you're going to be outsized in the post, and you're going to give up some rebounds, and you're going to have it happen, unless Bamboy really changes. James is just saying thumbs up to James. Appreciate you being out there. And I know, hey, I'm going to say again, I don't know what's going on technology-wise between our third-party streaming apparatus and StreamYard, and certainly with Twitter X. I know I get the message every day, hey, it's not going out. I can't change it. That's why I sit there and tell you guys, subscribe to Facebook, like James, YouTube channel. You ought to get it. It ought to be there. But goofy stuff going on. So don't know what to tell you. We also have the State of the Union address tonight. If I ask you what the State of the Union was for the Big 12, as of right now, this moment tonight, whether you're watching like Jeff on our YouTube channel, Ryan Heights Raiderland, free, subscribe, everybody. Thank you for putting us over 700 subscribers. We appreciate it. Maybe you're on our Facebook page, Ryan Heights Raiderland, again, free, like James. How would you describe the state of the Big 12 tonight? Is it stronger than it's ever been? I would submit that it is. John Kurtz, who does a great YouTube show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, he did one last night talking about how Big 12 basketball right now is everything they want you to believe SEC football is. And he's right. He's right that Big 12 basketball actually is this deep, is this good. And ESPN is making money off them in generating revenue, as opposed to the mythology around SEC football. It's top heavy. The Big 12 basketball, it's not top heavy. It really is that good. So we look at that and we say, all right, basketball matters going forward. It really does. Men's basketball matters going forward in the world of college sports and everything else. And if they break off away from football, I would submit that it matters even more, because that would be fewer schools that really have a chance to make money on basketball, and that would be most of the ones in the Big 12. So basketball matters. Big 12 football, how would you describe the state of Big 12 football right now? Tech, BYU, you have other schools still there. I would say it's strong. I would say the biggest reason, if I were standing in front of you delivering the State of the Union Big 12 address right now, is that the Big 12 is strong because nobody's trying to leave and teams might be trying to get in. As opposed to the last 20 years where teams were trying to leave trying to leave, and nobody was trying to get in. That tells me this thing's good. All right, James, Tech loses JT, and the media says Tech is still good. That's how strong the Big 12 is. Yeah, yeah. That the media has not savaged Texas Tech in the last week after the injury. They have not just come in and immediately said they don't have a chance. Now, I will say this: obviously, odds have adjusted. Here's an interesting note right now. Let's check back in, by the way, as we're doing live stuff. 32-31, 4:01 to go in, 3:36 to go in the first half. 32-31 Cincinnati. Cincinnati, you get off to an incredible start, 9 of 10, and now Texas Tech leads after a three-pointer by Jalen Petty, 34-32. That you have delivered the knockout blow. You've done everything you can, and you are down 34-32 with 3:32 to go. Cincinnati calling timeout. What the hell's going on here? Everybody reaching. Everybody grab it. 34-32. Texas Tech leads 10 points now for Anderson on the night. Petty's got 9 on 3 of 4 3-point shooting. Yeah, so Texas Tech getting a lot of respect right now. That it's more than just JT Toppin. But that's also they're surviving in the Big 12. I think that's Big 12 respect. I think it's definitely some Big 12 respect coming in there on how people are viewing Texas Tech even without Toppin. Robert Delgado, Three's Company. No, and here's why. Great show. Love the Regal Beagle. All right, Jack Tripper, Larry, Ralph Furley. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Roper. Great show. Here's why it wouldn't work. Three's Company worked in the 70s because it was almost taboo. You had a couple of things going on. Dude living with 2 hot chicks. Dude faking that he's a homosexual. Ooh, we can't do that now. I think you take all those things out of the mix today. You put that right in there today, and everybody's just like, yeah, it's not funny. The jokes aren't funny. That's dude living with chicks. Great show, but I don't think it would translate today. Jeff, Big 12 football needs help. Schools need to step up with the money. Which schools need to step up? All right. I think one of the worst things for the Big 12 is the in football over the last 2 years is the descendancy of Oklahoma State. They could have been a contender. They could have been somebody. We needed them to be good, I think. Florida UCF would be great if they were good. Seriously. Like, you're in Florida. Can you be good? Can you get any headlines out there? Those two, I think, are the biggest ones early on. Don't care about Utah. You know, Colorado's Colorado. Talking about shows, 25 years or older. Tuesday's Best. 2 shows, 25 years or older, that you believe you could bring back today, either in their original form or recast, and it would still be good. One, Mad About You. The irrepressible, what was her name? Helen Hunt? Not Helen Hunt? Yeah. And then Emergency, Rampart 12, Emergency. 1975. Who was the hot nurse on that show? They all had hot nurses. You can't do Emergency now because that's just the news. James jumps in on Facebook. Disney might have more talent in football than UCF. Look at him go. All right. Look at him go. Are we back to action yet? 3:32 left in the first. 34-32 Texas Tech. Took a while to claw back to the lead, and Texas Tech is back in the lead now. Do I have a lead time on this? Texas Tech has led for all of 38 seconds tonight. Cincinnati, 16 minutes and 11 seconds. Tech on a 7-0 run right now. The scoring drought for Cincinnati, 2:02 after starting 9 of 9. Now at 5 of 5, we said, regression to the mean. Then they're like 9 and 9. I'm like, man, it's not working out so well. Now it's beginning to get together. The biggest question mark is going to be second half, I think, post play. But so far, Cincinnati really hasn't exploited, I think, the post in watching what we've watched tonight against Texas Tech that I thought they might. You know, I haven't seen that yet. We'll see what happens. Jump in on the United Supermarket chat line tonight. Your thoughts, Tech, Cincy, real time. We're going to have time. They're going to hit halftime, I think. And we can catch some of you guys that are watching the game right now and not able to chat and maybe get in. You guys can share that, invite some people in. State of the Union. Where is the Big 12 right now? Is the Big 12 better than it's ever been? That's a sliding scale. Do we go all the way back to 1996, 97, 2000? Do we, how do we do that? But do you feel good about it where it is today in the landscape of college football with everything going on? I think you should feel pretty good about it. I really do. I really think not that conferences are viable. Okay. Specific conferences viability versus conference viability. And you guys know my theory on football that it's going to break away. So the idea of a football conference, Big 12, doesn't matter to me. But conference viability, after that, these schools, I think, have a shot. James jumping in on Facebook is Texas Tech team defense causing Cincy problems, smaller with speed. Certainly didn't do it early on, getting to shooters, perimeter or otherwise. So I am hesitant to say that the small lineup is just sitting there bedeviling a Cincinnati team that's been hot recently, 4 in a row, and obviously the win against Kansas. So I would say, no, I don't think the smaller lineup is causing Cincy problems. They don't seem to be having a lot of problems right now. 37-32, minute 58 left to go. Tech on a 10-0 run right now. Cincy 0 of 6. There's your regression to the mean. 1 of 9 from the field. Scoring drought 337. And yeah. Atwell, another one. He's got 2 of 4 tonight. Meanwhile, back on the United Supermarkets chat line, TCU and Baylor need to get the football ship righted. We need the Texas schools to be strong in football. Good thoughts. I would posit this. They're never going to be great. They could be good going forward. I don't think they're ever going to be great. I think the ship is sailed for the most part down at Baylor. You just need to be competitive. TCU re-upping with Sonny Dykes right now. Again, I think TCU has the ability to be a little more competitive, but Baylor got everything they were going to get out of it for a short run, and they're back to being Baylor. And they're not getting money, and they're not getting people believing in it, and that's just the way it is. TCU a slightly better chance because they're in the Metroplex. So I would say if you're counting, Jeff, on the 2 private schools in Texas to really carry the water, it's not going to happen. It's going to be up to Texas Tech on that standpoint. Be competitive. Do the best you can. All right? Dan jumps in. Our man Dan, talking about Tuesday's best, old TV shows, 25 years or older, that you think you could bring back today, they would be good. I wondered if anyone would say the Wonder Years. The Wonder Years, when we were watching in the late 80s, early 90s, that was set in the 70s. Really wasn't that far back. Hell, Happy Days, when it came on, was 20 years old. Right? It was set in the late 50s. It's in the late 70s. Nothing. That's less of a compression of time than when you watch Seinfeld or Friends today, if you watch a replay of Seinfeld or Friends, it's less of a compression of time than if you were watching Happy Days in the run. Well, you get the idea. So the Wonder Years, but make it 90s. All right, here's the deal with that, Dan. The 90s weren't that interesting. You didn't have the backdrop of the Vietnam War. I know, Gulf War One, we can do that, whatever. But the 90s just weren't that interesting. I didn't think kids growing up in the 90s, I don't think they were that interesting. And they became the adults in the 2000s, and I don't even think they're that interesting now. No offense to any of you who may fall into that category. No, I think what made the Wonder Years captivating was the backdrop of the era of the Wonder Years. That the late 60s, early mid 70s were different. They were interesting. I don't think the early 90s were that interesting, you know? Well, yeah, I'm telling you right now, Dan, that Winnie and Kevin weren't going to Cowpokes and Midnight Rodeo. Those are two totally different things. Now, if Winnie had been at Midnight Rodeo in 1989, well, that's disgusting. Never mind. Sorry. Where are we? We're at the half. We are officially at the half. 42-34. Look at that. Texas Tech a 15-2 run to close out the half. Cincinnati, one of their last 10. The Red Raiders now at 12 points by Christian Anderson, 9 by Atwell on 3 of 6 long-range shooting. Nobody in double digits for Cincinnati. Miller's got his 9, 8 for Jizzle James, 9 for Thame, and that's where we are. Down to 43% shooting, 13 of 30 from the field. So let's go back and let's go 9 of 10 early in the first half. After Cincinnati was 9 of 10 from the field, they have made exactly 4 and missed 27. Regression to the mean. 42-34, big lead. Petty, did we mention Petty with 9? Yeah. So Atwell and Petty with 9. There you go. That's how you close out a half on a 15-2 run over the last 5 minutes. Texas Tech at the half. We welcome in the people who may be joining us here at the half for the last few minutes of the show. How big is this game for Texas Tech? I submit it's very large. You need to win this game. You need to beat TCU. You need to beat BYU. You can go to Iowa State and get boat raced on Saturday, and it's not going to affect your seed line, in my opinion. State of the Union, how strong is the Big 12 right now? Whatever else is on your mind. Jeff, Cincy was not going to keep up that hot 3-point shooting. And your hot Rod Lincoln. No, they weren't. James, bring back MASH with the same cast. Nothing has changed except Korea to Afghanistan. TV tried to do that a couple of times over the years with different shows set in there, and it never worked. MASH would never work ever again. Even after MASH didn't work. Thank you, Colonel Potter, for trying. Thank you, Corporal Klinger, for trying. You guys did the best you could with after MASH. No, MASH was never going to work again. That's okay. And you can't recast it either. I mean, MASH worked because it was about the Vietnam War set in Korea. And it allowed people to watch a show about the Vietnam War in the early 70s, mid 70s, on into the 80s, knowing what it was about, set in Korea. That totally different era. MASH would not work today at all. What are we missing here in the stats? Anything? Tech 6 of 6 at the line. Come on, Marcus Pettigrew. I need some more replay reviews in the second half. You're not getting your TV time in this one so far. Points in the paint, 18-12. All right, this is good because Cincinnati, with their height, should be beating you points in the paint, and they're not. Second chance points, they should be beating you. You're beating them 10-0. All right, there we go. There are the stats. Offensive rebounds, where are we? 6-5 Tech. Not a huge number, but second chance points, 10-0, and that's one of the biggest numbers that should be talked about right now going forward without JT Toppin. So good offensive rebounds, so good doing that, and you are beating Cincinnati with a much bigger front court, than what you've got. And Quinta is sitting there with 3 fouls in 3 minutes. Come on. I could do that. That's the number to me right now. Second chance points, 10-0 at the half in this game. Jeff, talking about shows to come back, 25 years or older. Family Ties, Alex Keaton is MAGA. Okay, so we bring back Family Ties. Alex Keaton is the granddad now, and the kids hate him because he's conservative and they're all liberal. That'd be beautiful. What a game. What a game. What a burger. 42-34 at the half. Tech. Yeah, we've been talking about this. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the show, Mark. Yeah, we've been talking about the game the whole time. Glad you're here. Atwell and Watts need to be double guys from here on out at a minimum 10-8. What they have to do is play, first off, really good defense. After that, Atwell needs to hit threes. Petty, I need you to get a little more involved, Petty. 9 points is okay. 13 minutes, but I got no rebounds. I got no assists. I got nothing. By the way, 5 assists Anderson, 6 rebounds, and the 12 points. I need Petty to get a little. I need more than zeros across after the shooting is what I need going forward on that. Nothing crazy, just get a little bit more. This is fascinating, though, because Texas Tech is putting down some good tape here tonight in the first half, and they survived Cincinnati going 9 of 9 from the field, 9 of 10 to start it shooting. And we kept thinking, all right, this is going to flip back. You close it out. What was Mosley in the first half? 10 points, 10 minutes, 4 points, 3 rebounds. Okay. I need more from Mosley, too, going forward. Need some gritty moments out of you, dude. And I know the deal with Mosley, he's been banged up, hurt, and everything. He hadn't hardly even worked out. He hadn't worked out, learning multiple roles, just basically the top and roll. That's it. That I see Mosley and I go, man, I want you to, just do great things. He hadn't even had a chance to really work out with these guys. It's been on the court, and that's it. That if that can change and evolve in March, this is what's really intrigues me about this team, is that for a team that is 30-1 right now to make the Final Four. In the betting markets, Tech is 30-1 to make the Final Four. A week ago, totally different number. Now they're behind St. Louis, and the Billikens are sitting there at 28-1 to make the Final Four. I give you that for just comparison's sake and a little context. But this team still could get better. How many teams can still get better? We were talking about this before the Toppin injury, that Mosley, Mbemboye, a Quinta, that you hope maybe some of that, a little better. Well, now Toppin's out. Now, how much better can they get after Toppin? So how much did we carve off the top? 20% of the 100% we were hoping to get to? Don't know. They still have an upside. Go Billikens, 28-1 if you want them right now. James, I would bring back Who's the Boss? Well, Tony Danza, still alive. The blonde chick who was the mom. Don't know if she's still with us or not. Wasn't a big fan. See, Jay, I can tell by the I can tell what you're throwing out, James. Your age difference between me, right? Well, then I wouldn't have gone with that one. All right, at the half, Texas Tech 42-34. What do we 42-34? What do we think is going to happen from here? Does Tech get it done? What do you think? Tell us in the final moments here before we get out of here. State of the Union. How strong is the Big 12 right now? Old TV shows you think could come back, make a difference. Give me a little bit before we get out of here. You guys have been good. I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things tonight. Please share this on your social media feeds. Put it on Facebook, on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to YouTube. Again, I know the people on Twitter X, we're not getting to you right now. It's not our fault. It's a deal between Elon Musk and our streaming service, and it's just I can't do a thing to change it. To which I say, please subscribe to our other platforms. They're all free. Don't miss a thing. But that puts a little bit more pressure on you guys out there on YouTube, on our Facebook page to share it and make it happen. You know, I know you guys can do it. All right, here's an ender, as we used to say in the business. Here's an ender, Alf. Gordon Shumway. But Elon sends him to Mars. Alf ain't going to Mars. Gordon Shumway ain't. No cats on Mars. No cats on Mars. He's not going. Born in 80 and my childhood was only 20 years ago. There you go. See? All right, you guys are great. Let's see what happens in the next 20 minutes for Texas Tech basketball. We'll be with you in the morning on the website there at theraiderland.com. It's What If Wednesday. We'll give you a cool question on that. We'll be ready to rock and roll. Huge show coming up tomorrow as well. Anything else? We're going to have it for you on our Facebook page, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, on YouTube, and on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. I apologize again to our Twitter people. Y'all are great. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. We're doing the best we can. All right, let's see what happens tomorrow. TheRaiderland.com.